Hello and welcome in Expose podcast. Let me introduce you our special guest Myra Fordham. Hello Myra, let me invite you to join our Expose podcast. Myra is a trauma coach, #1 trauma coach in Australia. I'm going to invite Myra. So for anybody joining our podcast, Myra is super excited for helping. Hello, Myra. How are you?
Hi, great. Thank you for having me today. I'm super excited for this.
Me too. I'm super excited. You look beautiful. Goodness. Beautiful, gorgeous goodness.
Oh, thank you so much, Anna. You're such a kind-hearted soul, and I really appreciate your kind words.
Absolutely. So we have some new followers joining our Instagram live. Myra is a #1 Australian trauma coach. She is also bestseller author of Heal Her Raw. She is also super excited for helping not only survivors, but anybody who wants to shift from surviving to thriving. She has amazing story to share, amazing voice, and she's doing this worldwide. So thank you so much for coming to our podcast, and also thank you for sharing your story in Exposed documentary, which will be released by the end of this year. Thank you for all what you are doing.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. And I'm really, really grateful to have connected with you on this amazing online space. And that's how the world is evolving now. And I'm just so grateful that we're able to connect. And I'm here in Australia and you're over there in the US. So thank you so much. And I'm looking forward to this interview and also the documentary that's being released in December. So I'm super excited for that.
Yay! Well, without you, it would be impossible. So I'm very grateful also for your coaching, as you were coaching me. So I would like to ask you a personal question, a little bit about your story and why you actually decided to be trauma coach.
Okay, so, well, I'll share a bit about my personal story and how I became Australia's #1 trauma coach for women. Is what happened in 2016 was I was in an abusive relationship for over a year or so, and things were great at the start, and then as we progressed, things got worse, and but I didn't realize back then that it was both of us. It wasn't just him, it was me as well. So we actually attracted each other because we had similar childhood upbringing and experiences. And later on in the relationship, there was a lot of anger, there was a lot of hate, there was a lot of guilt, there was a lot of fear, very toxic, jealousy. It was really bad. But I thought that this was a normal kind of behavior because I grew up in a domestic violence orientated environment, and I thought this is okay, but it wasn't okay. And I was in the kitchen and I was washing dishes, and then my ex came behind me, smashed my phone, and then punched me straight in the head from behind. I didn't know. And what happened was my head hit the counter bench, and then I hit the floor just straight down. Because of his force, he hit me really hard, and with the intention of probably causing a lot of harm. Okay. And I don't remember any of this, but when I fell down on the ground, my brain impacted the ground, and I had a 2 millimeter midshift. So my brain moved like this when I hit the ground. And that caused bruising and in my brain, and the vessels in my head, blood vessels, to burst. So I had to have brain surgery. Then I was in an induced coma for 11 days. But in that time, I thought that I was just living my life normal. But I was in this state when I was in a coma. I was still dreaming that I was doing things. I could still hear people around me. It was a different experience. And I had to learn how to walk and talk again because of my frontal and my temporal lobe got damaged. It affected the way my moods are, to make decisions, how to talk, how to just make easy decisions on my own. So I had to start fresh. Like I felt like a little baby again, and I had my independence robbed from me. And it was very hard because I had to be pushed around in a wheelchair while I was in hospital, and I wasn't able to work. My license got taken away from me, suspended. So I couldn't drive. I couldn't work because I couldn't make decisions on my own. I became really fatigued very easily. My sense of smell, my taste, and my hearing became super, super sensitive. So I wasn't able to live in a normal environment. And I was very depressed then, and I had a lot of anxiety, and I also felt suicidal because I was lost. And I lost my dad earlier on in that year as well to cancer. So that was not my year. But I truly believe that I needed to go through all of these pain and trauma and not nice things to change the trajectory of my life. And that actually made me a stronger person, even though when I went through it by myself, it was very hard. And it took me 4 years to come to that realization that I don't have to be a victim anymore. I don't have to be alone on this journey. I can actually ask for help and have other people in my corner. And it wasn't until I met my coach now, that's my business coach, and that gave me the qualification to become a coach, is when I actually learnt how to heal and have all the tools and the resources and the therapies that I use. So that taught me a lot of self-awareness and to start going within and not worry about what's on the outside and heal what's within myself.
Wow, how powerful it is. I don't know how you are feeling, guys, listening the story of Myra. I just feel like applauding for not
Thank
giving
you.
up, for fighting, for waking up and showing for yourself, right? And now you're able to help others to do the same process, right?
Yeah, it was very challenging. I'm going to tell you that it wasn't easy. I had to really go in that dark, deep hole to actually overcome that and become more hungry and find my passion and my purpose. Like last year, I actually went broke. I had to sell my car. I was very depressed, and I used to take depression medication last year. So the thing is that we have the ability to get out of this. And if I had to learn how to walk and talk again, so can you. Like, you can learn anything you put your mind to. And, all you have to do is believe in yourself and ask for help. And I know it's hard because we actually experience the fear of judgment and we feel silly and we don't feel safe. But when somebody creates a safe space for you, it's okay. And you just have to do that by actually trusting in yourself. And trusting yourself is the most powerful thing you can do.
Mhm. How beautiful it is for anybody joining. Myra is a trauma coach, #1 trauma coach in America too, soon
Yeah.
in Australia right now, and bestseller author and international author. And super excited to have you today, Myra. And I would like to go a little bit into the healing process, because you are such a powerful voice, not only on social media, but as well in the book, in your book, Heal Her Raw. Like what, I mean, the question is a little silly because of we cannot make the answer, of your whole life in 1 minute.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, what does it take to heal from the moment to learn again how to speak, how to, walk, and then you are also amazing acrobat, right? You're like body
Yeah. Okay, so I'll try my best to sum it up in the most simple form. So the best way to heal, I'll give you these 3 tips, and this is what really stuck with me. So first tip is to accept. Actually identify what trauma or what kind of pain, what your pain points are, what it is that's actually holding you back. So accept it and identify it first. And then the second tip is to actually ask for help. Ask for help because look, as funny as it sounds, like we always think that we're alone on this journey, but we're not alone. And a lot of people want to help you, even if you think that they don't want to help you. Even if it's like on the street, you ask for help, somebody will help you. So the second thing is to ask for help. Put your hand up, take responsibility for what's happened, and know that, yep, I'm doing this now. And then the third step is to move on. So the thing is, we can always do things on our own, but it comes really hard when we don't know what we're doing at the start. We actually sometimes are in our ego mindset and go, oh, I can do this myself. I'm going to figure it out on my own. But that's actually so untrue. It's going to take you twice or 10 times longer to figure it out on your own rather than just having somebody in your corner. And so make sure when you're looking for help from somebody, make sure it's somebody that's actually professionally trained in that role of that specific area and that healing. And for me, like, it took me 4 years of trying to do things on my own, having anxiety, depression, and all these fears and limiting beliefs about myself. So it wasn't until I actually found the right coach and gave me the tools and resource on how to heal, I actually accelerated my results in a very small time frame. So accept, acknowledge, and move on. And there's actually nobody better than myself to actually help you there. And I have a lot of free tools and resources that you can access. But the real growth really happens when you decide that, okay, I'm actually going to invest in myself. And when you know it's right, it's right. And do your research, do your homework, and actually ask questions. And I've invested now, like I'm tallying it up, I'm invested over 60K into my journey now. Like last week, I invested 10K into my business and my personal development. And that's nothing to me because I make that quite easily. So the thing is, if you don't invest in yourself, how do you expect others to invest in you?
Wow, that's so powerful, because we are talking all about healing in all stages, right?
Mm,
From that spiritual to emotional, physical, and then personal growth, and then financial, right? Like going from being, broke to the place where you are earning the amount of money you want to earn, right? Um, so I understood that we cannot heal by ourselves, that we need somebody else to help us to find those answers inside. And I truly admire you for your confidence and just showing up, especially on your Facebook. I always, or your social media. So tell us a little bit, if you can, um, for anybody who will come to you to increase their confidence and self-esteem. There are any tips would you give in a secret?
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Well, I just want to share these tips with our viewers, is make sure that you're actually associating yourself with the people that actually want to see you grow and succeed. And sometimes it might mean that you need to invest. It really does. But there's no point hanging or associating with people who haven't been where you want to go. And for myself, I actually hang out with people who are millionaires because in my mind, that's who I am and that's where I'm going. It's only a matter of time. And the thing is that if you want to be confident, you have to have the tools and resources. But the first thing is when you're actually showing up online, those or anywhere in life, those who show up, they go up. Always stay true to your own word. Don't just make promises all the time to yourself and to other people because that's people pleasing. So when you're presenting yourself, instead of like talking like this and putting your head down and trying to deliver your message, you need to actually put your head up, put your shoulders back, chest up, and stand up tall and look around and engage with people. Even use your hands as like hand gestures to get your point across. See how it's much more different now. I'm sitting up and talking like this. And another thing is just what confidence actually is. When you lack confidence, it's actually lacking clarity and lacking knowledge. That's all it is, really. So that's all the things that you need to know to become confident in yourself, is gain further clarity on what the thing is that you're actually talking about or discussing, and gain more clarity and have that knowledge gap. There's always a knowledge gap, and that's why we procrastinate, is because we're actually putting off something that we really, really need to do, and we know that that's going to be beneficial for us in the future.
Thank you so much. As you were talking those advices, I straightened my back and I just felt more flow, yeah. More energy, and that's true, yeah. So for our audience, Myra is #1 trauma coach in Australia, soon in America, bestseller author, and you guys are welcome to make any questions in the comments. Meanwhile, I will ask you my next question. Do you believe in motivation, or what kept you going in that process to don't give up? Because of many probably of your clients as well, they are great, great starters, but they're not finishing. And me myself, I find myself also many times starting things, getting excited, and then in the middle sabotaging behaviors. Like I feel some because of limiting beliefs, right? So yeah, I went too far with my question.
That's okay, I understand. So, like how to not quit and what to keep you motivated. Okay, so the first thing is what we do, everybody does this, but I notice this behavior in women all the time, is they're a yes man. They say yes to everything. They're people pleasing, where they make everybody else happy but themselves. So with that trait, we actually need to have like a certain amount of commitments. And for myself, I say yes to people, or I'll get back to you on that, because I don't want to overcommit, because we actually overwhelm ourselves. And the best way I can kind of give you an example is when we get overwhelmed, what we're doing is we're actually focusing on the whole staircase rather than focusing on what's next. How do I take that little step to the next step and then slowly climb? Not like this, because you can't do that. It's just impossible. And even myself, like I've always been quite purposeful and driven and always focused and know what I want. It's just a matter of investing time, energy into it, and even financial kind of money into things. So the two things that I wanted to share with you with motivation and time, they're actually all they're all just illusions. It's just a measure of something. For motivation, if you really wanted to go for a run, you could go for a run, but you subconsciously are choosing not to do that. And then the excuses come into play. Oh, well, it's raining, or, so you can see that. So we actually try to justify our actions as to why we can't do something. And so with time, we have 24 hours in a day. We sleep for 8, and then maybe we work for 8. I don't know. Everybody's different. So between those times, we have a little bit more time left. So it's actually up to the individual on their lifestyle choices and what they're choosing. And so another thing is, what I like to get people to do is actually take immediate action. So you need to plan, execute, and take immediate action. And the only thing between that and actually becoming successful or reaching your goal is time. We always put time between the equation, and then it creates more problems that we don't need. And we actually think about problems before they actually happen, and that's what anxiety is linked to as well, because we shouldn't really think about problems until they actually arise, or maybe have like a strategic plan on plan B if this happens and that's it, end of story. We don't need to overwhelm ourselves even more, because it's just unrealistic. Okay, and so those are just some of the things that I used to do, but now that I'm in a more better mind state, or I'm feeling more motivated, you probably hear me all the time talking about goals. We actually need to have goals, because without no goals, we don't have any direction in life. We actually don't. But the thing that ties in with goals is actually strategy. So without having goals and a strategy, nothing. You're just going to be all over the place, winging it, wasting time and procrastinating.
I've
So
been
those
there.
are just, yeah. So that's why. And we procrastinate and self-sabotage is because we don't know how. So there's that knowledge gap.
Mm. And when you have that awareness between that knowledge gap, that's when you go into changing that story, that past story versus the new story. Like, what I used to tell myself who I am in the past, right? And so how you actually, in your own story, you mentioned some steps, but before we get to the point when I will ask you also about your social media and connecting with you before we finish, I would like to ask you if could you share a little bit how did you shift from telling yourself that old story to the place where you are living your new self-image when you broke those paradigms or limiting beliefs?
Yeah, okay. So there was a really, really old, outdated story, and these were some of the stories, and I'll share these with you because I think it's important that you actually realize, and our viewers that are here listening now, that we're not alone. Like, we actually experience similar stories, beliefs, negative emotions. So the first one for me, and what I actually cover in my coaching programs, is the self-worth. I had really low self-worth. I didn't have any worth for money. Money didn't mean nothing to me, okay? I just thought, yep, I got money, yep, I'll spend it on a nice dress, get my nails done, spend it on materialistic things that we actually don't really need. As long as we're self-loving and caring, we can actually treat ourselves once a month or every 2 months. So my self-worth was down shit creek, okay? Just be honest. It was bad. I used to tell myself, oh, that's too expensive, or I can't afford it. But if I really wanted to, there's always a solution to everything. And I had that stupid story in my head, and it was so untrue. Like, I could afford anything. Like, when I was a couple of years ago, I was on 6 figures. Like, it was pretty great. It was great. And so I truly know now and believe that we are actually we're conditioned to believe specific beliefs and have negative emotions, and we actually carry trauma genealogically and even in our past lives and in our DNA. So we can have those things holding us back. And so even in our childhood, my family and parents used to go, oh, it's too expensive, or money doesn't grow on trees. So that was my belief from childhood. So you can see where that comes from. Or if parents tell their kids, stop crying, stop it, you're looking stupid, look at everyone, they're looking at you, shut up. See how that, and then that makes you actually shut down when you become an adult. You don't want to open your mouth, you don't want to express yourself freely because you don't feel safe to share and you feel judged. And
Right.
maybe, yeah, maybe if when you're cleaning the house when you're a child and your parent says, no, that's not good enough, then you're already installing that belief that everything you do, even though you know you're trying your best, that it's not good enough. So it really took me that realization later on in life that everything that we think, feel, we control that, and it's our choice. And so one thing about judgment is people actually use other people, to attack themselves. So if somebody's judging something in another person, that immediately means that they're thinking about that with themselves, because it's a mirror of what they don't like in themselves. So it took me ages, 5 years from my brain injury and like growing up from my brain injury 5 years ago to actually realize those things with my training that I've done with coaching. So if I didn't do coaching and invest over $60,000 into my journey, then I would still be in the same conditioning patterns and self-sabotaging and probably have a toxic partner still. So I needed to actually invest all that money into my growth.
Well, thank you so much for being so vulnerable and so open. And I love all what you said, that when we really realize we deal with very similar issues, right? Like around the world, right? With that in any stage, right? That changing those stories from the past to the next version of me, right? Because the the growth has no limits, right? So, and especially when you are a woman, there is you feel a little bit like less important because of in the patriarchy, right? Community, just in some way. I mean, I'm Polish, so maybe it's only my experience, but I think there is also that gender, at least the sexual gender, female, male, that when we are women, we are sometimes have this belief of being not visible or not important. But maybe it's more associated with culture. So for anybody joining, Myra is a #1 trauma coach in Australia. She is also bestseller author, and you feel welcome to make any questions in the comments before we finish. Yeah, before we finish, I would like to make you one more question about your book, Hear Her Raw, and how was writing this book, that journey, amazing journey of writing this book for you, Mira.
Okay, thank you for that, Anastasia. So listen, I'm not going to lie to you because I believe in the truth, and writing this book was actually quite tough. It wasn't easy, and I procrastinated on it so much because I was actually resisting healing myself. And I'm not sure if some of our viewers know, but I'm pretty sure you do, that writing is actually really therapeutic because it actually helps you to heal those deep-rooted traumas. It actually helps you to access those memories in the past. Okay, so that's why I love writing, and when I write in my posts, very, very healing. But furthermore, when I wrote my chapter, what it did was it brought up a lot of shame. lot of shame, a lot of anger, a lot of fear, a lot of hurt, a lot of guilt. So when I was writing my chapter, I actually accessed my subconscious mind and found some trauma from my childhood about my mother and my father, which I didn't even realize. But it's still there because what we do is we put a blank screen over it. So that's when we forget about it, but it's still there. And yeah, it was tough. It was really tough. But once I got in my flow, it really just helped me to heal all parts of me. I was there in my office where I am now, and I was crying. I was making noises like full ugly crying, but crying is not a weakness. It's actually more powerful to show how you feel when you cry, and crying is not always a bad thing. It can be crying because you're happy, and crying is not a weakness. So yeah, it helped me so much. And I'm actually going to share a little secret to our viewers that I'm actually writing another book at the moment. It's another co-author book. Yeah, and it's going to be another bestseller because I know that and I'm manifesting that. And later on this year, I'm actually going to write my own solo book. So I just wanted to ask our viewers and yourself to please keep an eye out on our spaces because there'll be a lot more updates there. So if you want to do something like this, like a book, I strongly encourage you to actually find the right people. And even myself, I actually will be able to give you opportunities like that to write your own book or become a co-author too. So it's not about what you know sometimes, it's about who you know. And yeah, this book was just a great vehicle for me to start expressing myself freely. Thank you so much, beautiful. And yeah, so I'm just so grateful that I was able to do this because it's always been a dream of mine to write a book. So yeah, that's just one of the things that you're going to have to make a decision and invest into your future to grow.
That's why we create, yeah, huge congrats. And that's why we invest in ourselves, right? Because it's always starting from changing the inside out. So so the outside is the result of the transformation we went through. So you manifesting your second, third bestseller book and all those goals is just the reflection of your inside, right? You already create that in you. You visualize that, you embody that, and you stand up in your power and connected with yourself, with your body. And so I celebrate you. I read your chapter, and for anybody who would like to read Hear Her Raw, we are going to send the link in the comments. And how many languages is this book, Hear Her Raw?
Oh, that's a good question. I actually don't know the answer to that. I'll have to speak to
Yeah,
our publisher, but I'm pretty certain that it's available in quite a lot of countries, and it's actually on Amazon. And quickly, anybody in Darwin, I'm actually doing a book launch on the 26th this month. A book signing at 12 p.m. On Smith Street Mall, and I'll be there if you want to support me, get a photo, have a beautiful personalized message. So if you Darwin people want to come along and support me there, you can. Otherwise, send me a message and I can send you the link for Amazon to purchase a book or even an ebook, which is only $2 something. So it's very cheap.
right. It's like a protein bar.
Yeah.
So before we finish and I let you go because of you have next clients waiting for you, is there anything would you like to add? I didn't ask you, or yeah, anything coming to your gut?
Oh, okay. Well, there's gonna be a lot of big things happening this year. A lot of big things, but for now, I just ask that you simply just keep connected with me and actually get your friends to connect with me as well, because I believe that I need everybody's help to impact the world, and the more hearts I can touch, the more that we can spread love and kindness to this world and healing energetic vibes. And for our viewers, I really just wanted to gift you something. So I'm only gifting two free coaching calls, 45 minutes, which is actually worth $500, but I'm giving this to you for free today, and the information is in my biography on my Instagram account. And if you see this, please comment below yes, and yeah, I'll reach out to you and we can find out how I could support you further. And I've just been so grateful that I've been able to share myself with you every single day of my life, and it nothing gives me more joy than to help you and other people to heal yourselves and actually get all the life learnings to be your best version of yourself.
Wow, it's such a powerful statement. Thank you so much, Myra. And for anybody who doesn't see your Instagram name, can you say again your Facebook and Instagram names?
Oh, yep. So my Facebook name is Myra Fordham. That's my personal page. Feel free to connect with me there. Or otherwise on Facebook, my business page, you just got to type @ in the chat bar. So write @Myra is the best. And then in Instagram, Myra Fordham _coaching. Okay. So I'm on every single platform, and connect with me there, and then we can really impact the world together.
We are such a powerful house. And yeah, I just had one more question, which is keeps coming back to me, so I will make it if we have one more minute. So yeah, for anybody who is watching and is at the very beginning of healing, and doesn't know how to connect with themselves, right? And is always asking others, what should I do? Do you think, like this kind of being disconnected with yourself, what would you advise to start being more connected with your body, with your intuition? Because it sounds like you really mastered the skill of being intuitive, and so would you like to speak?
Thank you. Yeah, so just a few tips on if you're a beginner within the inner world or the inner work world and you want to start doing some healing and being more in touch with your intuitive side or your spiritual self or your soul. The first thing you need to do is this is the easiest way, is it's called mindfulness. So mindfulness is being more mindful of what's out there in the world. So first thing, when go outdoors, go explore amongst nature, go and ground yourself. Actually take off your shoes and connect with earth. It's like you connecting yourself like your battery to, a terminal. You need to really ground yourself and feel connected and recenter yourself to the earth. And imagine, or not imagine, but I want you to actually be really aware of what kind of sounds you can hear. If you can hear birds chirping, if you can hear the waves crashing, just forget about all the outside noise, what's for dinner or what I have to do for tomorrow at work. Just forget about that, all for just this moment when you're outside connecting with nature. Listen to the birds. Actually notice the patterns you can see in the clouds. Notice the color of the grass. Notice the flower petals. Like, be just away from the outside noise, okay? Just clear your mind and take yourself to that place, okay? So that's where you start grounding yourself and being more mindful. This is good for if you experience anxiety. It's good to get outside, get some fresh air. Second tip is get a journal. Get a journal and actually start writing in the journal. But what I like to do in my journal is you you can start by saying, like writing down how you feel, like today was a really nice day. I was able to read 5 chapters in a book. Just tell your story in the book. And then if you're feeling a bit angry or frustrated or no good or sad, write about it and write exactly why you feel sad. And so what that's doing is putting all this stuff, this messy stuff inside of your mind, or the thoughts, the emotions and feelings from here onto the paper. So then your mind's not going crazy and thinking too much, okay? So that's the second tip. Third tip is actually go and connect with people who actually want to see you succeed in life. Go out and be social. Even join some circles, like women's circles or men's circles, and don't resort to drinking or taking drugs, okay? Because that's not going to help you. It's actually going to really mask the emotion and make you feel not very good. And if you really need more help, then seek help, okay? And sometimes it's nice to just talk to a stranger, not to somebody you know, really, because you don't want to feel judged. You just want to feel seen and heard, and that's really it. And the last tip that I really want to give to you is a golden tip, is when somebody is angry or you're feeling angry, you need to respond from a place of love. So the perfect example is if you're not feeling good inside, maybe you go for a walk and somebody might say hello to you. Don't just put your head down and be angry and just go, oh, hello. Just be like, hello, like back, because they're actually acknowledging you and showing you that you are loved. And just be kind to yourself and don't take everything personal in life, because not everyone's out there to hurt you or make you feel no good. There's a lot of people out there who really just want to connect with you and be nice.
There's so many people who just want to connect with you and be nice. I lost my voice in the middle of saying that. Yes, it's so true. And thank you so much for this beautiful reminder. 2022, we have February 2nd in Australia, 3rd, and it's starting so exciting for you. We are wishing you all the best, and thank you for impacting so many lives, for all the work you are doing. And thank you so much for helping also me, single person, as well, so much, and my community. We are going to leave your social media and the link to hear her roar in the comments. Thank you so much for everybody watching, and yeah, go ahead if you want to add some last word.
No, I actually don't have any last words, but just feel free to connect with me if you want to learn more about yourself and become the best version of you.
Thank you so much. And yeah, you can make even some questions. Like me, before working with Myra, we had one powerful coaching session. I was just very open. I wanted to learn something more about myself and have some main breakthrough, and I had. So I think anytime when we get curious and open, that's the attitude when we receive, right? To put the ego on the side and allow ourselves to really explore, because many times, yeah, there are no coincidences. So thank you so much, Myra, for being on our Expo show, and see you soon. Have a beautiful day, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you, Myra.